After waiting for what seems like forever, Garmin has just dropped the new king of running and triathlon watches, the Forerunner 970, along with the new Forerunner 570 and the HRM 600. Let's dive in. Before we jump into the details on these watches, let's start with the pricing. Now, the Forerunner 965 had an MSRP of $599 at launch, while the new 970 is seeing an increase of $150 US. The launch price is going to be $749. Ouch. The new 570, which shares a lot of the features of the 970 with some notable differences we're going to cover in a moment, is going to debut at $549. Now, these two watches pick up more or less right where the 965 left off, so I'll go over some of the hardware features very quickly here and then get into the differences right afterwards. So both the Forerunners will be getting a mic and speaker so you can take calls from your wrist as long as your smartphone is nearby. So yep, that's right, no return of a cellular Forerunner right now. These are Bluetooth only. Both the watches come in a few different colors and that have some different accent colors as well. There's some different styling. There's translucent bands for some. It looks like they've tried to hit this kind of fun and playful tone with the 570. I mean, I'm personally not a huge fan of the color selections. I don't mind a bright watch, but not for me. Both Forerunners have Forerunner engraved on the side. The 970 has it on kind of like this accent bar, which is reminiscent of the Phoenix 8 mic cover, while the 570 has it just right on the side. Finally, the 970 has a little dot thing on the start button. Now, both watches are coming with the tried and true Elevate 5 sensor, so no, there's no debut of an Elevate 6 sensor here. We're going with the tried and true 5. Garmin has also kept that same charging connector on the back, so same thing they've used for generations now. Okay, next let's jump into some of the differences between these two watches. There are some big ones here. The 970 has a titanium bezel and sapphire glass, while the 570 has an aluminum bezel and Gorilla Glass. So we've kind of seen this before, sapphire titanium for the high end. Now for weight, that means the 970 is coming in at 56 grams, while the 570 is at 50 grams. Now the 970 has an LED flashlight built in like the Phoenix and Instinct line does, while the 570 has a screen-based flashlight like the previous Forerunner models have. The 970 has mapping built in, while they have held that back on the 570. So a watch that's over $500, no mapping in the year 2025. That's a miss. So as a result of the lack of mapping on the 570, it has only 8 gigs of storage, while the 970 has 32 gigs of storage. In fairness though, I mean, if you're not loading maps on there, 8 gigs is plenty for music, so I guess it's fine. The 970 has the ECG app, the 570 does not. When it comes to battery life, the 970 is rated at 15 days with Race to Wake, 8 days with Always on Display. The same size 570 is rated at 11 days with Race to Wake and 5.5 days with Always on Display. Finally, the 570 comes in 2 different sizes, with kind of like that S size at 42 millimeters and the standard size at 47 millimeters. So I think that kind of more or less covers hardware. I might have missed a few. If I missed stuff, throw it in the comments. Please help me out here. But from what I'm seeing, there's no radical departures here aside from maybe some of the color choices. But, and I think this is a really good thing here now, Garmin is debuting quite a few new features with these watches, so let's cover some of these now. So, you love the morning report? Well, get ready for evening report. That's right. Instead of telling you what's coming up in your day, it's going to tell you what you did in your day. And I'll give you a breakdown of your workouts and whatever else, along with, things to expect for the next day, weather forecast, what workout is there, and whatever. One other new feature is going to be the triathlon coach. So whereas before there was a run coach and ride coach, there's now also a triathlon coach. So that'll be cool and worth checking out. Now there's an updated race projection. This is my favorite part here. The updated race projection shows you not only what your current projection is for your race, but also where you could end up by race day. This new update also includes consideration for the actual course itself, assuming that you've kind of entered that in. So elevation factors into the prediction as well. If there's a lot of elevation change during the course, it will factor that into the prediction. It'll also include weather factors once the date is close enough. So this is a prediction precisely for your race, and I think that's pretty cool. Now there's also race day enhancements. So if you're following a course during your race, it will know where the finish line is and allow you to trim your activity to the point you cross that finish line, as long as you stop the timer within 2 minutes of crossing. So if you run across the finish line, if you forget to hit stop, it'll allow you to trim the activity. You can also set your laps to work with lap markers on the course as long as they're registered as part of the course, so your watch knows where to expect them. So, for instance, the Chicago Marathon is notorious for being horrible at the start with all the tall buildings, all the GPSs get messed up. You don't need to worry about that now. It's going to use the actual course lap markers instead of getting thrown off by the GPS. So again, I'm liking these practical upgrades for runners. I think this is where Garmin's strong suit is, and I'm glad they're doing things like this. Now there are also additional metrics that are available, although I do believe these are all kind of tied into using the watch along with the new HRM 600 heart rate strap, and we'll hit that in a moment. So the 3 metrics here are running economy, which is basically how efficient you are at moving at your given speed. Step speed loss, which is just what it sounds like. It's how much speed you're losing with your foot impacts, like, okay. Running tolerance. So this one I think is actually kind of neat. This is the most interesting one to me. It gives you weekly mileage that you can tolerate without increasing your risk of injury. So this will also have consideration for the impact of your runs. So for instance, if you're hitting 70 miles a week, but you're doing all zone 2, then the impact is lesser than if you're doing, say, 65 mile a week, but you're doing all tempo runs, intervals, things of that nature. So overall, I just hope that Garmin provides some level of guidance around these metrics. Garmin is already kind of known for having this shotgun approach to metrics and just throwing more and more metrics at you. So having even more metrics generated, in my opinion, is not super useful for most people if they aren't followed by actionable advice on how to improve them and what benefit you get by improving them. So hey, Garmin, hey, if you're watching, this is how to have people actually want to use your AI tool. Have it do that. Take all these metrics, turn it into actionable, simple advice. There you go. So speaking of advanced metrics, as I mentioned, these are tied to the new HRM 600 heart rate strap. So while a few years back, things like ground contact time and running power were external sensor dependent, they're now built into watches. They're available on the wrist. So now Garmin has new metrics, and these new ones are tied into using the brand new premium heart rate strap. So let's cover this with a quick overview. HRM 600. So this is a $169 heart rate strap. Yes, we're redefining the high end of heart rate straps now. This strap will enable the running metrics that we just covered, but it does have some pretty cool features aside from that. So the sensor is removable, so you can machine wash the strap and avoid the perma-stink that comes with owning the HRM Pro Plus. Thanks a lot. The battery lasts 2 months, and that's only because it is now a rechargeable battery. Now for workouts where a watch isn't practical, you can wear just the heart rate strap while doing activities and have that sync up to Garmin Connect afterwards. And you can wear it to record daily metrics when you don't want to wear a watch. So things like steps and calories burned. So you can wear your nice watches out and not lose that step count streak that you've got going. So there you have it, the brand spanking new Forerunner 970, Forerunner 570, and HRM 600. Now, as I mentioned, the 970 is starting at $749, the 570 will be $549, and the HRM 600 will be $169. All are available to order on May 21st. So you're going to be placing your order on the 21st. Is this enough for you to upgrade your watch? If so, what watch are you coming from? Let me know. Is this what you were looking for in the Forerunner update? I mean, I think the hardware is basically what we expected, maybe some new styling, so it's kind of down to those new features, the new metrics. Let me know in the comment section and let's get this thing going. Thanks so much for hanging with me today. I'm Dave and this is Dave Does Fitness. Have an awesome day and stay fit.